Well, here we have Bryan's IC-7300. He's been tossing around whether to send it in or not, and whether to mount the Asymod inside or outside, and where to put the knobs. Well, it's finally on the bench, and let's get to it. Well, in this install, we will put the Asymod 6 internally in the 7300. We're going to put it around here. But we first have to see, because we have the other board that we have to mount up here, the pen adapter, and we already have the 1/4-inch jack that we're going to use. It's going to go right next to that 1/4-inch jack, right around there, like that. The only thing we got to figure out is if the pen adapter will allow for the Asymod to be mounted here. Let's go check that out. We'll go ahead and take out the antenna tuner connector for the pen adapter connection. Here's a pen adapter. It's going to go right there. So we cannot put the Asymod there. We're going to have to find elsewhere to mount it. That's a bummer. We're going to have to go now on the underside of the radio. And figure out where we're going to mount it. We might be able to put it around here. Here. That might work. Over here we'll have to put special shielding in the low pass. We definitely have room here, but we'll have to put a special shielding on there. We'll see. Well, we'll start off by making the hole for the 1/4-inch line end connector, and we've done the markings right there. And that's our 1/4-inch connector right there. And we've done the hole. We put our 1/4-inch jack here so no debris goes in there. Well, we've actually installed the 1/4-inch line end connector, and we put a small bracket there with 2 screws to hold it in place. Well, now we have installed the ALC modification partially, these 2 caps here, and now we're going to install the second part of the ALC modification. This mod right here fools the ALC system into thinking that the feedback is right where it needs to be, not to cut down on the power output. This is the delay of the ALC, or the reaction time. So we have that done. We have the line in connector done, and we'll move forward. The next thing we're going to do is install the switch, as I call it. It'll be the modulation switch, which diverts the 9 volts from the driver stage to the Asymod's output one on AM. So here we have the RF switch, and we've already made the hole to mount it. Right here. Right here. Now we've removed the coil from here and made our solder pads on the right side of this cap in there and right there. That's what we're going to tap in with the switch. Now we put in the 8 volts TX and the 8 volts AM and lead it to the Asymod location. And as you can see here, we'll install the RF switch, interrupting the flow of 9 volts steadily from the radio supply to the driver stage with the Asymod. Well, here we've already installed our power. We got our switch in place. We got our audio wires hooked up. One going to the Asymod, the other one going back to the audio section where we installed your switch to disable the Asymod or to revert the radio back to factory status. We folded down the ribbon cables to properly fit the Asymod on this side. And we bundle up all the cables into a harness for a neat installation. Hello and welcome to another Asymod video. Here we have Bryan's IC-7300. He's been tossing back and forth the idea whether to mount the Asymod internal or external. Something that we haven't done before. We did it on the 718. We had plenty of space. This one was a little trickier, but we got it done. And as you can see, we have the 3 essential controls mounted on the top panel. Your carrier, modulation, and asymmetry control. And we're done. We're about to give it a test ride. As we take a look inside, we can see we have installed the controls on the top panel. We had to cut out a section of the front panel frame. And we also installed the pan adapter in the place of the antenna tuner jack. The antenna tuner jack connects to the right there now, and you could also use the antenna tuner, and there's your output for your SDR, so you could see your waterfall. So there you have it. Let's flip it to the other side and check it out. On the bottom side, we've installed the Asymod 6. And here we can see the enable and disable switch. This will allow you to revert the radio back to factory settings. And the radio will operate as it comes from factory, as if the Asymod was not installed. Taking a look at the rear panel, we can see here we've installed the line in connector. Nicely next to the CW key connector, and we've installed the Asymod enable or disable switch, a 1 being on, a 0 being off, and of course your pan adapter connection. Okay, so here we have Bryan's IC-7300, and it's finished. I'm gonna give it a little test run. I'll begin by keying up. We're gonna use this Heil mic, pen mic, and we're gonna compare it to the RE20 using Pro Tools. And we'll begin by setting the Asymod controls. We'll key up. We're gonna bring it up to, we're at 0 power right now. We're going to bring it up to about, let's bring it up to 2 watts. That's 2 watts right there. And we'll set our reference here. That's right. Now we'll start the SIGGEN. As you can see there, we have our modulation envelope, but we need a little more modulation to reach negative 99% peaks. So we'll raise up the modulation level. So we have 99% peaks. Our asymmetry is down. We're doing about 110%, 120% modulation. We can bring up our asymmetry. That's 250. I'm sorry, that was 150. That's 200. That's 250. And that's about it. But you don't want to go more than 200 if anything. So there you have it on AM, a perfectly modulated envelope. And we'll go ahead and kill the tone right now, and we'll go ahead and start talking. We'll start Vegas recording here. And this will be with the RE20 that we have it hooked up to Pro Tools, and Pro Tools is hooked up to the rear line end connector here on the IC-7300. First we gotta activate the mic. And there we go. Audio 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3. This is the RE20 using Pro Tools as we're recorded here on Vegas. And now we're gonna go ahead and unplug the line in connector, and we'll be able to use the hand mic. This is the Heil hand mic, and we're testing out this IC-7300. Heil hand mic sounds really good. Sounds very good. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. Bryan will do really well with this mic on his mobile. So there you have it. The IC-7300. Hi-Fi asymmetrical AM and eSSB transceiver. So being that Bryan is mostly going to be in his mobile unit, it was really ideal to mount the Asymod controls here on the top. And of course we included the Asymod disable switch that reverts the radio back to factory by the flip of the switch. And we're all set up here. Let's go ahead and try a few settings here on AM. And we're gonna put all the Asymod controls counterclockwise. And let's set the radio up for a 1 watt dead key. There we got about 100 milliwatts. Let's flip the switch to disable the Asymod real quick. If we disable the Asymod, we are here. Let's go to the RF power. There's the radio as it comes from factory. Audio 1, 2, audio 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, we don't go past 100% modulation. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about 2 watts of dead key with the mic gain at 20%. To operate the Asymod, the mic gain should be at 50%. And the RF power at 50% as well. Then we can flip the switch to the Asymod position. And we can bring up the Asymod. That's our power right there. We're on a 20 watt scale. There we're down to 0 watts. I could bring it into 1 watt. That's 1 watt right there. We'll adjust our reference here. While on AM, the mic gain should be at 0 and the RF power at 50%. So let's go ahead and key up. Right now we're at 0 watts of carrier, and we're gonna go ahead and bring it up to 1 watt. And we'll go ahead and insert the line end connector. Now we're got Pro Tools connected to the input. We're gonna go ahead and start the SIGGEN. And raise up the modulation control until we get our 99% negative peaks right there. Bring our asymmetry up. That's 300% modulation. That's 200. That's about 150 right there. Let's try another setting. Let's put this radio at a dead key of 10 watts. That's 10 watts right there. Adjust our reference. Activate the keygen. Now we need more modulation. I'm gonna put a little more modulation here. That's our 100%. Let's go up to a 200 watt scale. So at 100%, we got our 10 watt dead key and we're doing 40 watts of PEP. And then you can bring up your asymmetry as well. Right there, we're doing about 60 watts.